Welcome, Teenies new and old, to Wits and Crits, a roundtable Q&A style podcast hosted by me, your Dice Goblin, and resident Vanilla Guard Boy loving ship gremlin, Hayden Davio. I'm the player for Aviana Kolesh, Regan Alis, and Fianula Ione. For those of you who are finding us for the first time, hi, hello, we are Nat 19. We're a group of actors, performers, and improvisers who have come together through our love of storytelling and mutual nerdery. Today on the show, I have Anna Garcia and Logan Capybara Laidlaw.
Oh, right. I guess I got it on my shoulder. Hello!
Yeah. Hello! Thank you guys for being on today. I super appreciate you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your fine selves? I could only get so far until I got weird and stumbly, but I made it through the initial intro, and that's what matters.
We did it.
We did it. Heckin'. Why don't we start with you, Anna? Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you play in Nat 19.
I am Anna. You can also call me Squeaky or Squeaky Chiona. And I play Marile Injustice in Devil's Might Surrender. I played Constance Colibri in the Crystal Tieflings one-shot. And I am now currently playing Lilia Laporte in Gilligan's Pit, a Vestige of Ophiuchus spin-off story featuring not Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
I don't know where I was thinking the joke, and I was like, oh god, no, turn it!
I think you'll find your name is Lemon Pokey.
Yeah, it's Lemon Pokey in Discord, isn't it? I was like, no, it's Yana.
You're right, it is. Wonderful. How about you, Mr. Laidlaw? Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
It's me! Hello! You know me. I'm your guy. I'm hanging around on this boat, drinking a Mai Tai. I'm on the ocean as we record this. I'm not, but that would be such a power move for me to be like, I'm connecting via Wi-Fi from the fucking ocean. I'm on a boat. I'm Jimmy buffing it up. I'm Logan. I am the creative director behind Nat 19 and Project Mouthwash. I am a voice actor for video games and anime, and also, I guess I should say cartoons, because as of very soon, that's going to be the most relevant one. I am the one what is behind most of the stuff. What happened? The writer behind Somnus Domina. I really only have played Hadric and Agisai, if we're getting like right down to it. There's been others, but like let's be mostly real. I am the GM of Vestige, and I am the GM of Gilligan's Grave, a Tale from Somnus Domina, our most recent campaign, the one that is currently going, one of our first interim games. And I am also 30% of Red Bull's annual sales.
I believe that.
But I've been cutting down Red Bull, so you better watch it.
Dang, alright. Issuing a challenge. A little bit early for that, but okay.
I'll fight Red Bull.
You know what? If you fight Red Bull, I'll pay to watch that happen.
Red Bull incarnates itself as a legendary lion. I cut it with its own claws, and I wear its fleece. Not fleece.
You're gonna go...
Pelt.
You're gonna go full Heracles.
I am. I'm gonna go full on Heracles.
Wouldn't it have hoofs?
If it was a lion?
If it's a Red Bull?
Oh,
it's a bull!
Oh yeah, I guess it would make more sense for it to appear as a bull, wouldn't it?
It'll have hoofs!
It'll hoofies. It's your own personal Inanna battle.
I will carve a fork and a spoon from its horns.
You know, I, again, would pay to see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what you don't have to pay to see is us answering questions today. I've got a handful of questions for both of y'all, so I'm gonna roll this sexy little D4 and see who will be answering the first question. Will it be Anna? Will it be Logan? Or will it be both? Yeah, it's gonna be Logan!
Ah, dang!
That's
$5. All right. My guess was wrong.
Well, guess better, I guess.
That's 5 friendship dollars.
I want 5 friendship dollars, yeah!
I can manage that.
Yay! But I've got a question for you, Logan and Ananan.
Yeah.
Machiavelli. That guy. You know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Machiavelli wants to strip the human world of the weakness of flesh, both humanity and demonkind, and replace it with what he perceives as the perfection of technology. Do the quirky, unpredictable pleasures of organic life, like sex and yellow sons of bitches, ever give him pause? I.e., has he ever, in your view, wavered in his convictions?
He has not, at any point, ever done that. In fact, if I could probably go back to that, when he was eating the yellow sons of bitches, it was a very when in Rome kind of situation. He looks back at the mere act of taking joy in ice cream as having been a failing of the body that he was in. He enjoyed it at the time. He was like, oh, this tastes good. It's wonderful. Yes. But the fact that there was a chemical dependence on anything is something that he would look back on and be like, that was a problem. I shouldn't even want this. It's an issue that I am beholden to desiring this.
So it's not better than sex.
He also didn't like, heckin' sex also doesn't retroactively appeal to him. No, he was just doing as the Romans do. And once he was out of Rome, he was very like, good! No more stimuli to distract me from making everything out of old copper! He desires Machiavelli desires a very specific sort of homogeneity to the world where there are no real desires to go around and everything is just working as intended. Exactly.
Has he considered milk?
Has he considered milk?
He wants homogenization, right?
Oh, I see.
Milk. Get your fucking milk. He needs some milk.
Milk.
Need some milk. Get the man some milk.
Oh, the human race.
That.
As you grow, you become more allergic, and yet you desire more.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to crouch in front of your fridge at 2 a.m. and eat cheese. I don't understand what the problem is here, Machiavelli.
Totally. But yeah, no, he has at no point. He's been in this body for like 2,000 years, and he's hated every second of it on a philosophical level.
Was he an organic being? Because I'm like 90% sure I'm correct on this, but was he organic before? Was he organically grown? Sorry.
Well, I mean, he's a demon. So
yeah, exactly.
He was
just a
created
pretentious
in the
dickwad.
Yeah, he was created in the way a demon was created. Machiavelli would have been like very like a kind of organic. Like there would have been like parts to him that were. But by the time anything that we saw came into play, like any of the flashbacks where Adramelech was already created, he had already effectively discarded most of. He's very General Grievous up before that point. Like mostly droid or mostly robot, but like a couple organs, specifically sensory and like his brain and whatnot. As of the splitting when Gino betrayed him, when Briar betrayed him, as of that point, he realized he could exist without anything that like remained of his organic body. So as of coming back, he's like, cool, my consciousness can persist without the need of flesh. Metal time! Fucking, so he has achieved true 100% mech boy as of this story, but he was previously 99.95% mech boy.
Full Metal Machiavelli.
Yep. There would have been a point where he would have been like a demon made of the various materials demons are made of, because some have like stony bodies and some have like are made of fire and whatnot. I imagine he would have been some iteration of a fire-based demon at some point, given that his beginnings would have been as a blacksmith. And then he would have just slowly augmented his body and replaced bits and then developed firearms and was like, lasers in the pre-2000s! And then from there, it just would have escalated to him replacing everything he possibly could.
Kind of ship of Theseus. Ship of Machiavelli.
Yep.
That reminds me of something, but
Go ahead.
it could end up being off topic. All I know is that Final Fantasy XIV did that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's a whole that you don't see them until like way near the end, and it's only for a brief bit. A race that was like, hey, we were trying to figure out we figured out that being organic sucks. So we progressively made ourselves more and more metallic until we are just a robot race now.
Yep.
Let's go conquer things.
That's basically what he wants.
He's
He
an
wants to-
Omicron.
He wants to ship of Theseus everything into being, like robots or possessed armor or what have you.
He's an Omicron.
He's an Omicron.
What if we just said no? Just no.
I imagine that's the plan.
I mean, yeah, no, but with fist.
Have you considered no?
Oh, jeez. Oh. Ooh. I hadn't thought about no. Ooh.
See, no means no. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You have to respect consent.
Mm-hmm.
It's sexy.
Mommy Lane knows what's up.
Yeah. I can. So yeah, as of him getting back Adramelech, his efforts have been entirely to build what he would consider to be his perfect body, because he would have previously been scared that discarding the few remaining organic components that he had might have killed him, but you guys have confirmed that they wouldn't. So he's like, all right, gloves are off. All metal. Let's do this.
Whoops. Question mark?
I don't understand, but booba. But boob.
I don't understand either.
He's a foolish fool.
And that is why he is a villain.
It's true. Thank you very much for your answer. I'm gonna roll again. Hope ya. It's for na.
Ah.
And na.
Oakley dokley. Well, I guess we're sticking to the topic of Devil's Might Surrender, which I love. I love it so much. I never want it to go away. Logan, keep it around forever. I can't say bye to another girl this year. Don't hurt me, please.
Can you isekai us into Somnus Domina too?
Yeah. Just let Theo and Miriam hang out with their floofy blue sleeves. Thank you. That's all I want. I need that. Just, it would be cute. Anyway, so for Anna, I got distracted, but that's common, so don't worry about it. Now that Marilyn knows the role that the Order of the Sanguine Heart played in what happened to her parents, does this affect how she sees Zinnia or Arden? If she found out... Great.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Like, no.
No.
No, next question.
No, keep going.
What is the question? If she found out that there were other survivors of the Order, would she want to confront them in any way, or does she just want to live her life?
She just would. What do they have to do with her? What is whatever has? Huh? Yeah, no. Like she wouldn't blame Arden or Zinnia. First off, like Arden and Zinnia might be around, if not probably maybe even younger than her. Why would she blame them for that? And it's like, I mean, there might be some maybe of like, what end did you think this was going to produce? But like at the same time, it's like it didn't work, dummy.
It's true. They are dummies.
I think it's that thing where she was always curious about like where her parentage may have went. I know that working at the Angel's Light, learning more about her race, she had learned that for her to have even been born in the first place would mean that she had to have been wanted, because they can just decide to procreate if they want. So that was already that reassurance of whatever the situation was that led to her birth, she was wanted. Now kind of having the added knowledge of she was born out of love and wanted and could have had a family. Like, while there's probably that feeling of like, yeah, that was taken from me, but that doesn't mean I didn't achieve it in some other sort of way. It makes her a little sad because she would have probably still wanted to know her family, but that's that thing of like she can't go back to the past and like do that, and at the end of the day finding somebody to blame, it's like what is that going to do? Like, she could be focusing her life on what she has now and the happiness that brings her, than just kind of ignoring all of that for a revenge that isn't going to be satisfying.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes a lot of sense. Because, at least from my perspective, Marile, she's not, like, spiteful, and you can correct me on that, because, like, everyone can be fueled by spite in different ways. But it's... going after them wouldn't really add anything to her life.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem like the type who would actively seek out revenge just because she could.
Yeah, it's that thing of, like, that's life and time and energy she could be investing into the people she loves and making her life better. Like, what is the revenge gonna, what is that really gonna do for you? Like, what do you really get out of that?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like with her spite, she'd rather spin it again into something positive. It's like this organization tried to do whatever the fuck they did for whatever nefarious maybe reason, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this life that I was given anyway and freaking live it up and be happy, because if that's not what they wanted, well, fuck them, they're dead anyway. They're probably dead and or somewhere else I don't care about anyway.
It's, yeah, just obviously Marile would have no way of directly knowing this, but it should also be pointed out that though it is the Order of the Sanguine Heart that did that, it was kind of not the same one you know, and that it's sort of a deep cut lore thing, but the Order of the Sanguine Heart, as Arden knows it, which was started by, like, his uncle and a few other people, they were basically picking up on and continuing a dead cult's research. The group that went after Marile's heckin' mother, they ceased to exist relatively soon after. And even if it was the same order, for context, the only people left of it are Arden and Zinnia, who wanted nothing to do with it anyways, right?
Yeah.
So,
there's not even anyone to take revenge on.
have you not already kind of taken revenge? Because you guys technically did kill the Order of the Sanguine Heart by taking out Laidlaw.
Yeah, exactly.
Vengeance retroactively achieved.
Woo!
Oh wow. Oh wow, even if I was spiteful, I already got what I wanted. Like, it's
Shit.
I can just skip to the happily ever after part if we live.
Indeed.
Hells yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna roll the dice again. Yeah. Okay, it's for both of you. I'm in for your voice apparently, and we're just gonna roll with it. Okay. Yeah. Well, we already kind of answered that. And it was more about the Sanguine Heart. I was like, well, we're gonna ask the other one then.
Well, and that's all of our questions. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. 18-minute episode. Let's go.
Speedrun.
Speedrun. So, for both of yous, you both play kind of troublemaker characters that came into their respective campaigns paired with a more level-headed partner that they ended up forming a romantic relationship with. Plisi, Ajisai, and Marile.
Yeah.
They have both frustrated their partners by rushing into danger or being a general shit stirrer. Was this intentional or something that developed over time? Do you
I don't
think...
know what you're talking about.
Do you think they would do all the same things if they didn't have a Regan or Nicolo? Nicolo? Jesus Christ, Hayden, getting white out here. Nicolo.
A Regan or a Nathan.
a Regan or a Nathan Drake to balance them out? Or do you think they grew more or less reckless as their relationships developed? I'm gonna paste this into Wits and Crits because it's a long one, so then you guys can see it. So they frustrate their partners, as they are wont to do. Is this something intentional? Like, or are they just kind of going where the wind takes them? Like, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
I don't know anything about Ajisai frustrating their partners, so the question is malformed.
When I made Modile, she was supposed to be a lot more of a bitch. She was supposed to be, like, purposefully pissing off Nicolo in a, it's your fault anyway that we're in this situation, so you're paying for it in this way, but that didn't happen. So she just kind of became her own little gremlin roommate for a little bit that occasionally made him pizza. But I think as time passed with everything going on through the campaign, it became a little bit of, he's kind of cute when he's a little cranky, and she likes when he gets just like she thinks it's kind of hot when he's like really angry and passionate about something. Not that she would purposefully piss him off to get that. There's something that she really likes when he's like, oh! She's like, oh yes, please. Oh yes, more of that, please. Thank you. But like,
She and Aviana should talk.
but I think her also, like, now I can't recall a lot of points where Modile was like, I'm just gonna walk in like a bad bitch into danger because I'm gonna be fine. But if she has, it's a testament of how much she trusts Nicolo.
Mm-hmm.
That Nicolo's not gonna let anything happen to her. He's like her big buff spaghetti golden retriever.
We do love a spaghetti golden retriever.
Good old spaghetti golden retrievers.
He's her spaghetti golden retriever, and he will protect her. So it's like, she just greatly trusts Nicolo, so she feels like she can just kind of do what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
But before it was also kind of being a little bit of a gremlin. She liked seeing him a little cranky. She liked seeing him emote and kind of have that little genuine like roommates experience, a little sitcom roommate stuff, because Modile kind of likes watching sitcoms and romantic dynamics and stuff, and she's like, this is kind of fun. I can have that if I with this person. So like, just a little testament to how lonely she also was. She's like, I get to have a roommate. It's so fun. I get to be with somebody, and we can. It's like playing house, but for real.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love that so much.
That's
so
the thing I kind of love about Modile. It's like, you look at her and she's like, here she is, a succubus whore. But when it comes to like her home life, she is the most wholesome domestic. I love that.
Ain't that just the way, though? It's like, it's often the characters who don't seem like that's what they'd be after, but they find their way to, okay, but what if domestic bliss, though?
I love how no one has ever so far asked, so why hasn't Modile boinked Nicolo yet? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just now doesn't seem the time. Looks at Briar, looks at Cydia.
There was time.
Just wasn't the right time. This isn't the right time. We've got things to do, you see. Like,
You wanna run that by me again, girl? I mean, Theo kind of asked her, and not a, hey, why aren't you fucking? It's like, so this. What this? Because it's not just homies.
Cross that bridge when we get there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, circa Ajisai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they came into the campaign as a wraith, so Who they are was kind of super suppressed at that time. Whenever they got back to being who they were, they sort of just reverted to exactly who they were previously. Regan has a set effect on Ajisai, certainly, but I also unfortunately think that a lot of who Ajisai is kind of just who Ajisai always would be. She's rambunctious and a prankster, and she kind of likes to pick on people if she knows that what she's picking on isn't a big deal. She likes to get in the cracks with people that are a bit too, like, heckin' up their own butt about stuff, which is why she doesn't like being in Waterdeep, because the only fun that she can find is to go to things that nobles are doing and be like, why do you do this way? So, like, it's kind of backwards, don't you think? So you don't get to have any fun at all. Fucking some of the most fun I had role-playing Ajisai was whenever they all went to that dance, and I just was taking people apart during it.
It was so funny. I'm like, no, shit on the nobility, let's go.
Right? But as we're developing over time, less violence for the sake of revenge, more violence for the sake of kind of just fun taking the cult out, weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. If she frustrates Regan, she doesn't clock it, ever.
Really?
Yeah, no, she kind of just assumes that people are okay with her being how she is, unless somebody brings it up. So because and if those people are themselves kind of like have their own idiosyncrasy, she's very like, well, whatever, you got your own stuff. Like if Krusk does anything, she's like, well, you know what? You do drugs. So there we go, right? Because Ajisai is a huge brat.
Yeah,
I think unless Regan directly told her she was doing something wrong, she kind of always just thinks Regan's on her side and that she thinks she's doing the right thing.
the thing is, Regan is on her side, and it's never like she's frustrated by Ajisai. It's always more, she tries to redirect Ajisai a little bit in just like small ways where it's like, okay, yes, I see that that's what you want to do, but what if we go over here first?
Mm-hmm.
But we still get to do that thing. It's a lot of Regan employing what she knows about redirecting rambunctious people in, like, especially like her siblings, like her two little brothers are, we've met them, they are off the walls. So she's used to dealing with people who are rambunctious and just sort of redirecting attention. She employs that a lot in her relationship. But I don't think she's ever been like wholly frustrated with Ajisai.
Yeah. If Ajisai is ever redirected, she doesn't notice. She's just kind of pointed in the direction that she's going in, and she goes. And she does kind of internally think that anything that Regan says must be true because Regan is smarter than she is. So in almost any situation, if Regan tells Ajisai that she is wrong or says something against what Ajisai thinks, Ajisai's like, okay. Like it's a very, she knows that she's not equipped to think about most problems. So she's just like, no, Regan knows, whatever. Regan is smarter than everybody else we know.
Aww.
Which is why it was so frustrating when Regan wasn't being herself, and Ajisai could tell that, because Ajisai was like, okay, well, my impulse to defer to Regan has broken down, and I do not know what to do, because Regan handles this stuff normally, but Regan's the problem. Ah! So,
What do I do?
That's why that hit her so hard. Yeah, so Regan definitely, like, refines the direction Ajisai is pointed in, but I don't know if she balances her out at all, because it's not like she's less chaotic.
No,
she's
Regan's
just
got
chaotic at
some
different things.
Yeah, she and like especially right now, she's like kind of going through it in her own way, and I'll wait until, you know, my own episode to dig into that if people ask, but like Regan has her own chaos, like much like all of the Prince's party, everyone is chaotic in their own way. And I think Regan's like a little bit more level-headed, so she brings almost like the high energy, like ADHD bouncing off the walls energy that is Ajisai, like down a smidge, but not by much, because Regan doesn't want to like dim Ajisai's light. It's what she loves about her, and she wants her to just go be Ajisai.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because anything that Regan might be doing to like suppress Ajisai, Kyra undoes in a lot of ways, because she finds Kyra to be just so boring and to be just like so by the book and scared of everything that anytime there's a situation where I just like, I have a neat idea, and if fucking Kyra is at all like, I don't know, I'm worried about that, Ajisai's brain very much goes to like, oh, well then we're definitely doing it. Because if you think it's a bad idea, no one's gonna fucking see it coming, because you're worried about things all the time. So
Wet
like,
blankets being wet, let's go.
It's very, she's very like, oh, I'm annoying Kyra, I must be doing this right then.
I must be on the right track.
Yeah, fucking Krusk is kind of in the same boat, because Krusk is so like hedonism like fueled that anytime like Krusk says something in the theme of being lazy, Ajisai's like, okay, well my job here then is to eliminate your ability to relax so that we can move on with our lives. But doesn't really have much of a relationship with Devin. Devin's sort of not really super reached out to Ajisai apart from commenting on things she does. But yeah, fucking Regan helps to point Ajisai where she needs to go, and Kyra's like a magnet where she's like, okay, whatever you decide to do, you're a scaredy pants, and you don't like taking risks, but risks are how we win. So if you think it's bad, it's good. It's the thing to do.
I love
She also
watching
just
it.
likes annoying Kyra.
Yeah, but that's also just kind of like Ajisai's vibe. She's like, oh, a reaction, you say?
Oh yeah, totally. Fucking the scene from The Simpsons of fucking, well, I'm just gonna windmill my arms like this, and if you happen to be in the space they're moving, well, that's your fault. That scene is Ajisai's energy. She's very much like, what? I'm being annoying? What? No, don't touch this. Don't touch it. And fucking holds hand over. Don't touch this right here. I'm not touching it. I'm just indicating. This is the thing you don't want me to touch. This thing right here that I'm not touching. This is what you don't want me to touch.
Touch.
I'm touching.
I'ma
Poke.
touch it.
No, that's except for she does have the ability to tell when something is genuinely dangerous, like with the box that we had to transport. But failing that, she would rather poke the bear, in any situation, and be like, "Come on, bear, I can take you."
I mean,
Wake
she is
up.
dating a druid, so
Indeed,
she is dating Bear Mom.
bear mom, forest wife, bear mom.
Forest wife, Bear Mom. Team Mom.
Yeah. So I think
Hell
that
yeah.
indirectly answers the question, and then also spirals out into things that weren't the question.
Nah, it's fine. I like that. Also, I like when y'all talk about your characters. Please gush about them to me. I like listening. That's what this show is me. Just like, just tell me about your characters. It makes me happy. I'ma roll the dice, y'all. It's for Anna. Which one? Hob y'all.
This Anna.
Number 1 is Okily Dokily. So I've not watched Gilligan's Grave, so I'm failing at my job here. But it was shown in her description that Lilia was approached by a strange person as a child, and that's how she got her Petal Knight powers. Did Lilia see any features of this person? And if so, what did they look like?
Well, I, the player, know the features of the person, but that doesn't mean my character does.
It's
And
true.
my character has not seen them in 10 years and only ever saw them once. And I don't know about you guys, but
feeling
what,
torn
see one person once and then wait 10 years and tell me if you recall any distinguishing features about them.
Yep.
Because depending on how good or bad your memory is, the answer is probably not a satisfying amount.
You might just invent a new person.
Yeah. Like that's that thing where I've kept the details of how their meeting went very, very minimal. One, because I have to recall chats with Logan to see if there was anything more in depth than just seeing each other. But it's that thing of she saw them, doki doki, magical girl powers, and then they were gone. So like it's like touched by an angel. Except I don't know how that show works at all.
I have
so
no idea. All I know is that people had like guardian angels or something, and my parents used to watch it. I know nothing about it, except I was like, oh, that female angel's hot. Oh no, I'm having that thought, but don't worry about it.
I just saw a very controversial clip about it on Twitter that I'm not sure I should talk about.
Oh shit, tell me about
Touched
that
by
after
an
the
angel?
podcast.
Yeah,
Was that a live action thing?
Yeah.
It was a live action thing.
Was that the thing with Iris in it?
I have no idea. I just saw a random clip from it where it's honestly not that bad. I'm just not going to go into it because it's off topic, but it was that thing of like, you could have wished for anything else, but you wished for that.
Oh, I see.
You're an angel.
Oh.
I know some, again, it's off topic, but I know some movie about angels has the song Iris in it from the Goo Goo Dolls, which is, you guys know that song, right?
Yeah.
No, but I've heard
But
about
I
it.
don't want the world to see me. That one?
Oh,
No, that's sorry, that's not that.
I
That's
was
not
like,
that. I'm
that's
thinking
not.
of. Sorry, no, I'm thinking of a different song. My brain jumped to a totally different song. It is by the Goo Goo Dolls. It's. Oh fuck! What are the lyrics to that one? Damn it! Oh, now this is what we got to talk about.
Yep. No, that's fine. This is the current
What
topic.
is Iris?
Apparently the opening theme was Walk With You, performed by Della Reese.
This is gonna fucking bug me.
No, look it up. I don't care. This is what we're talking about now.
Oh, I'm doing it. Hold on.
Do
I
it.
need to
I don't
find it so
care.
it can be like that song. Iris, Goo Goo Dolls. What is wrong with my brain? I know this song so well.
Soundtrack. It was for the soundtrack
Oh, no!
of the film City of Angels.
I don't. Hold on.
I'm looking at
You're the
Wikipedia.
closest
Written.
to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't want to go home right now.
Yeah, that's the song.
I was right. No, I was right. It
Yeah,
is
you're
this
right.
one. Ah, vindication. Sorry, it's from City of Angels.
Yeah,
Was that
it's
what-
from. It apparently was written for the soundtrack of the 1998 film City of Angels.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew it was an angel thing. I just didn't know which it came from. All right. Well, anyways,
I never knew. I never knew that was the title. I never knew that was the title of this song.
Yeah, it's called
I
Iris.
do know this song. Lol.
I don't even. Does the word Iris even appear in the song?
Nope.
I don't think it does.
Nope. That's probably why.
My brain did a thing. I'm sorry to go off topic. It did a thing
No,
where the
it's okay.
moment I started singing it, I thought I was singing the lyrics to the song from Treasure Planet for a second, and my brain was like, "Oh no, that's a different fucking song." And now
Dude.
I'm like, "What was that one?"
Oh god, you mean like Jim's theme?
I am a question to the world. That one.
Yeah, heckin'
Not
Jim's
an
theme
answer
from
to
fucking
be
Treasure
heard.
Planet. Which,
But it's
god,
not
that
called
movie's...
Jim's theme.
Well, it's like...
I'm still here. It's called
I'm still here. Yeah.
That all right.
It was
yeah,
listed on
yeah,
my
yeah.
Spotify as Jim's theme, so okay.
Totally. In the same way that from the fucking second Transformers movie, the You Got the Touch remix is just listed as Sam's theme.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's anyways, so I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Lilia.
Right, Lilia. So yeah, no, just to add on to the topic in that regard, Anna absolutely, I know she said as much already, but she absolutely knows exactly what they look like. Like there's art for this
exactly.
character and whatnot, but it's just not something that they would resemble. They would have just like a blurry mass. That's also why they don't even like know the gender or if there is an appropriate gender
Yeah.
for the individual.
That was that thing of like going by the art. It was like with the ensemble that they're wearing. It's like how I don't know what's behind that. They have a lot. They're wearing so much.
Yep.
So
And-
again, it's like are they a prince? Are they a princess? Does that matter in how much I admire them? I don't know yet.
Yep.
I'll come back to you when I actually see them.
and facially they're super androgynous.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But that's that thing where it's like she doesn't recall too many features, And that's probably a thing of maybe now that she's racking her brain a little bit, especially with session 2 where someone was like, this person seems familiar, and it was like, no way. No way would freaking Destiny be that much of a fucking shitter that the moment I talk about them, they appear once more. It's like, no, I don't recognize you. I do, but I don't. Who are you? No, she recalls that they were very beautiful. They recall they were very regal. And that they just something about their presence was something fantastical. And then don't ask her to describe it in detail. She's just like, I don't know, like I don't know, like a dream. Do you remember dreams? Like, yeah.
I'm so excited to listen and get to know y'all's characters. Hell yeah. Again, while we're just on the topic of Lilia, I'm just gonna ask you your other question because I'm curious. Because y'all know I like talking about character inspirations here. What were some of the inspirations that went into making Lilia? Like whether it was her design or her personality. What were some things like that you pulled from, or like where did some of the ideas behind her come from?
Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Hell yeah!
It started with Revolutionary Girl Utena. Watch Revolutionary Girl Utena. All of it. Do not skip it. Anybody who tells you to skip the filler is not a fan. What? Okay, but no, seriously, not answering the question.
I love you so much.
So it started with Revolutionary Girl Utena. It started with that series, and then really, really loving the vibe of the Pedal Knight, and really wanting to play a Pedal Knight. And I talked about it once on my post Gilligan's Grave Session 1 stream, but I won't go too in depth. She started out as just wanting to play a very fluffy, girly Pedal Knight. To kind of be a bit of a companion to a character that my friend Lynn was making, who was going to be this big, tall, stoic, icy Oni lady. And I was like, you're going to be big, tall, and I'm going to be little, small, and I'm going to ride on your shoulder, and we're going to be freaking gal pals, maybe more. but then she actually went and created the character to play in Pathfinder, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll go play this character in D&D. And then that was kind of it. But like, I drew a lot of inspiration from like wanting to have like something really cute and girly and dreamy while still being a little bit grounded in some way. And once I had like all my components together and I was roughly sketching something, Lynn was also like, can I throw a hat in the ring? And I was like, sure. And she gave Lilia her hat. Lynn is actually the one that designed Lilia's like big fluffy camellia beret.
I love it.
And we kind of both like, because again, I had the idea and everything in my head, and I had like very rough drafts that I showed her, and then she was like, oh, and then she like threw like her flavor, and again, hat, because I never think of a big hat most of the time, but I was like, something's missing, and she was like, hat! And it just kind of worked. Then it was just picking out colors. Like Lilia was originally supposed to be blue. She was supposed to be a blue rabbit, but somewhere my brain like hiccuped and was like pink thing.
Oh, somewhere your brain glitched and was like, what if it was pink?
What if it was pink? Because I remember
did the squeaky thing and made it pink.
I remember I showed Logan the concepts, and you were like, I thought she was gonna be blue.
Yep.
I was like,
I'm fine to be either, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, but we already dressed her in like cute little purples and like all that stuff, and I was like, nah, she's pink now. So she is another Somnus Domina related pink thing.
Yep.
Hey, that's fine.
And then yeah, is just kind of trying to capture, again, trying, because it's only been 2 sessions, this kind of like very like sweet kind of airhead a little bit, kind of like bubbly but like a dreamy personality, because I look at her and it's like, this is someone who lays in a fluffy pink bed on her days off reading romance novels and then being like, destiny. if anyone's ever seen Penguin Drum and knows about Ringo,
Oh my
then
god.
I remember way back in the day, like we were gonna watch it. You probably watched it all the way through. I think I only got
Yes.
through like an episode or two, because I think it was just coming out at that time, and I didn't get back to it. I always
Yeah.
wanted to go back and watch that.
Penguin Drum is made by the same writer of Revolutionary Girl
Aha!
Watch Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant.
Hey, I still need to watch it. I'm down to sit down with you at some point.
You can
I've never
actually
seen
find it all for free on YouTube. It's all on YouTube for free.
Let's fucking go.
Like, legit, English and dub. If you want to hear Baby Crispin Freeman and Misty.
Oh,
Baby Crispin.
Baby Krispy Kreme.
But then after watching the dub and being like, this is so old, then you can just watch it in Japanese. I'm surprised you haven't seen Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, Logan. You haven't, right?
I've not. I know its vibe, and I've seen a bunch of stuff from it, but I've not actually ever sit down and
Yeah.
watched it.
It's just, when I saw the Pedal Knight, I was like, there's no way you haven't seen it.
It's definitely based off. The idea behind the Pedal Knight was very much like Zorro, but magic. And then as we designed it and as the concept kind of expanded out and the epithets got involved, it just kind of became a magical girl / duelist subclass, which is a fun flavor, I think.
Yeah, but with it, when it comes to both series, they're written by Ikuhara, and both of them are going to be very confusing on the first watch. Absolutely filled to the brim with symbolism and fun, and they're fun. So, and then there's the movie. The movies are the movie Fruits, and that's good. I have no idea about Penguin Drum. Penguin Drum. I only recently learned there was movies for those. I'm like, oh shit.
Like, oh well, that's me now.
But yes, I'm so down to watch Utena with people if they ever want to, because it's a show that with every watch through subsequently, you're like, oh shit, I didn't notice that the first time, and then you start seeing it's those things that it just becomes better the more you watch it. The repeated watches just become better.
I love media like that. You're like, oh shit, I
Mhm.
get that now. I
Yep.
mean, I've been watching Bridgerton with Alejandro, so. And he's enjoying it! Anyway, I guess I'll ask another question.
There you go.
Because now my brain's like, I can't wait to watch more season 2. Anyway, I should do my podcast. What? Oh, it's from Logan. Crazy.
Other music have the Goo Goo Dolls done, I wonder.
Don't do this to me. You can't fucking ADHB's my podcast. I do it enough myself. Okay. Actually, I need to. Yeah, no, I can use the D4 for you. Yeah. That was cocked. Yeah. So this is going a little further back for you, Logan and Anan. This is going back to Honokuni.
Okay.
We got a bit of background on most of the Table of Samurai members. But unless I was mistaken, this is just what the questioner said. Unless I was mistaken, we never got much detail about Mother Tear's past. Can you tell us a little bit more about her life and how she got stuck in Honokuni?
Oh, yeah. So, she's from Gaia, which, for all intents and purposes, I mean, it's no real secret due to how, like, interplanar or interworld stuff works with, what was once the Shadowfell is now the Realm of Shadows. She is from our Type Moon continuity, and when I say our Type Moon continuity, I mean specifically the same one that Solar Shadow is a part of, like our Nat 19 Type Moon continuity. She's a member of the Holy Church. Everybody knows that already. She had a very long life with them. very high up in the ranks, and the actions that got her to Honokuni were that she had another member of the church, another executor that worked with her, and somebody ended up framing them to try to get them removed. They ended up framing them for some misdeeds that they had done to try to push blame onto this other member. And Tyr was assigned to find and execute this framed member of the church. When they did, and they realized that this member, a much younger member, someone that they had been friends with, was in fact not guilty of anything they had been accused of, but that the conspiracy against them had been set to the point, it had been woven so well that there was no way to untangle it in time that the more executors wouldn't be sent to kill them. Mother Tyr was like, all right, so I'm old. Life's fine. I'm good with things being over. They arranged things so that it looked like, in fact, Mother Tyr had been behind the conspiracy that they'd been blamed for, and they took the blame on for it, became a criminal, fled the church, and as they were being fled and as they were being forced to defend themselves against other members of the church, as they did non-lethally, just their general despair over the situation and their aimlessness caused Honokuni to sort of resonate with them and pulled them in, and then they ended up there. And once they were there, they were one of the most successful set of hunted, because usually when the hunted arrive, they're a bunch of disconnected individuals. Mother Tyr was very insistent during their hunt that they worked together and they band people together. And whenever they met Samurai for their meeting, they tried to appeal to the Samurai's humanity, which they mostly kind of succeeded in doing, because Samurai kind of projected onto Tyr. They kind of saw them as a mother figure in place of the mother figure that they lost. And Tyr, who has a soft spot for children and the young, they had a soft spot for Samurai because they could see that Samurai was being in some way manipulated, even though they were far older than Tyr could possibly comprehend. They were like, you still have the mentality of a child. And they immediately realized that Hirohito was up to something. So they tried to form a friendly relationship with Samurai. And whenever the needs of the hunt caused them to have to fight, they were in one of the few successful hunts. And at the very end of it, rather than being granted any kind of wish like you can leave or what have you, they decided that they wanted to join the table. Specifically, there was a member of the table that isn't there now, but once was there, who was like Sagittarius on crack. They were terrible. They were incredibly murderous. They were super abusive. They were originally the holder of the gates that Sagittarius guards. They were effectively just a casual mass murderer. And so Tyr was like, I will join if they are expelled from the table. And then ever since they joined the table, they decided to use their position to do the least possible harm and to try to guide and bring together members of the hunted whenever they arrive. Unfortunately, always kind of knowing that they would have to fight them. And there have been cases during hunts where Mother Tyr has allowed themselves to be killed with almost no resistance, but due to the fact that they were told to protect the church, or the mausoleum that you guys fought them in, they take that very seriously. And anytime anybody gets there, they're like, well, I promised I'd do the one thing, and if I don't do it, she's like aware that Samurai is aware of the table members' activities, and she's also kind of aware that Hirohito seems to have that as well. So she's like, if I don't do at least the one thing I promised to do, then I am going to be removed from the table, and then someone worse than me is going to take my place. So if anyone ever reaches that mausoleum, she's like, all right, sorry, I have to actually try to kill you. As she did with you guys, a thing that she did not want to do. That's effectively the abridged version of Tyr's, how'd they get there to why were they doing what they were doing. It's also why their mirror in the underground room that had a mirror for every member of the table, their mirror sees people, it shows how they see people when they come in. Their mirror sees people as being youthful and naive and not being prepared for what's ahead of them, because Mother Tyr's general feelings about people is that they are in need of protection, and her impulses are to be like, I need to help people. So she sees everyone kind of as lost and innocent.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But also because she's from the Type Moon continuity, I wanted to talk about her history the least, because I didn't want the party going back to Somnus Domina with too much knowledge about that, because I just didn't want to deal with the headache of crossing the streams. And honestly, if I were to go back, I would probably not have had her be from there, and I would have had her just be from a different version of Somnus Domina or something.
Interesting. Just like
Because
to
that-
avoid crossing the streams.
That's around where I was getting a lot more strict about the brand and what can like pop into it and what can pop out of it. And I think that Honokuni was definitely like a period where I started seeing Nat 19 more as the thing we're going to be doing as a company into the future.
Mhm.
Her being from the Type Moon world was definitely more in the this is a fun hobby sort of side of my brain. But if I were to take it seriously, I would state that Honokuni should never include someone just outright from a different continuity, like, unless you really, really want them to be, I guess, but I would never do that again. I did it because it was fun, but now I would probably be like, it's the kind of fun where I would try to have them have a similar story, but from Somnus Domina. Similarly, I probably wouldn't have included Heckin...
Artorias.
Artorias. I wouldn't.
I
have
was gonna ask about that.
Included them. They are also from the Type Moon continuity. They are not Saber. Despite
What?
how much people are like,
Mean!
despite how much people should be like, oh, but they're conflated with each other. Like, sure, they're definitely the same individual, but they're not. In our Type Moon continuity, fun fact: if you were to summon the Saber who is King Arthur in our Type Moon game, you'd probably get them. Because that is who King Arthur / Arturius was in our history. But they are not really related in any meaningful way to like Artorias from main Type Moon stuff, beyond the vague cosmetic references that they had in that they looked like just an older version of them.
Interesting.
I wouldn't do quite as much blatantly cross-dimensional, cross-continuity stuff these days.
Mhm.
I would find things that are just as fun, but within the confines of the rules.
Yeah, it's kind of within the confines of our continuity, so to speak.
Yeah.
No, it's so interesting because I'm glad that you gave us so much about Mother Tier just now, because I've been sitting on it going, I want to ask Logan. I'm really happy that someone asked, because I've been wanting to ask you about it. Be like, all right, so just tell me what the fuck was up, because I want to know for me, because I'm a nosy Nelly and I want to know everything.
Mm.
I think a lot of us put together that she was, like, that Mother Tier was from the Type Moon continuity, like ours, but I know that's part of the reason I didn't dig in too much into it in character, at least, because I'm like, I wouldn't have any fucking knowledge of that shit. She's just flying by the seat of her pants, trying not to die.
It's true.
Or just being like, I mean, if I do, I do, whatevs. Heckin'. Well, thank you
Heckin'.
very much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I got a couple more questions for you. Ooh, it's for both of you. If Lemon Boki is here.
Lemon
Yeah.
Boki.
Yeah. Lemon Boki! I was rolling a dice as if there was another one, but it's the last question for both of y'all, so. I don't know why I'm rolling. I think I just like rolling dice. Shocking. So, for both of you, you both have a propensity toward romantic relationships in role-playing games, and are both part of active ships in Nat 19. Marile and Niccolo, Regan and Ajisai, and then on the NPC side, we've got Rory and Avi, and Tantia and Fenris, and so on. For both of you, the question is, what do each of those I can't speak word money good. What word? Blah, blah. Anyway, I'm coming in for a take two.
All right, you come in for a take two.
Yeah.
What are those characters' favorite parts of their relationships, and what do they get out of them?
Well, I think it's time for the music to change.
Ooh. I threw it in Heckin' Wits and Crits as well.
I suppose I can start on that one. So the main two, it's interesting because to answer it, Ajisai is a different thing from Rory and Tantia because playing an NPC is not the same as playing a PC mentally.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Rory and Tantia are a lot more like id and impulse based because I usually generally run NPCs more guided by like what is their main like thing that surrounds them, what is their main like trajectory in life, and that determines a lot of how they're going to act because it's easy to connect with. But Tantia wasn't, I guess, too far from Ajisai in that both of them have there's a plane going overhead. You stop it, plane.
We don't
Get
hear
out of
it.
here. I do.
I get that though. You're like, no,
I get
but
it, yeah.
I do.
I'm good that it's not distracting, so I'm gonna spend all the time I can hear going. They both have a sense of romance that is a bit impulse based. Tantia in particular is pretty much almost entirely fueled by what they find fun. They don't think about what they do very much. So their interest in Fenris, it's driven a lot by that they find Fenris interesting and fun, and everything else sort of emerges out of that. And I don't want to call it shallow, but there is a shallowness to Tantia, almost entirely in that their romantic connections to people kind of start physically. And I don't necessarily mean that in a sexual connotation. I mean, they like people that they feel they could tussle with. The fact that they met Fenris while fighting was exciting for them. So they kind of associate their relationship with Fenris early on with that combative, like being impressed with this is fun sort of mentality, and then everything else to be super shallow. It progressed from that to you're pretty hot, to teasing you while I have you captured is fun, to having fun turning the tables on the others, and then from there on it just became a thing of like everything around you has been good. So I'm going to pursue more things around you because this has all been fun. And if it persists in being fun, good.
Yeah.
And then she became comfortable really quickly because she just sort of settles into things really fast. She doesn't really think about things all that much once they're set and behind her. Ajisai, not so much. Ajisai, like, is driven by what's fun, but I think a big part of her attraction to Regan comes from the fact that she feels very safe, and at least from her perspective, she feels understood in the relationship. The fact that Regan stood by her literally when she was in the worst possible form she could possibly have been in when she was a wraith, it means a lot to her, because she chooses to see it as that Regan could see the core of who she was, even though she was so thoroughly changed. And then there was a brief scary period where when she came back from being a wraith, she was a bit frightened for a bit that Regan would change how she felt about her, especially because nothing romantic had been really established at that point.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Regan seemed to be okay with her in the same way that she'd been okay when she was a wraith, that's why Ajisai got kind of more bold about how she felt.
I mean, I'll give you this. Ajisai's absolutely right about that. Like her instincts are correct in that Regan could see like who she was. So big Gucci. I love those girls so much.
Ajisai also finds some value in being with Regan because she feels like in casual situations Regan has more fun as a consequence of Ajisai. Like she feels like she pulls her around to do things, such as when they're in the dock and they went to get clothes and they went out doing stuff, and Ajisai likes adding to people's lives and being a part of people's lives, sometimes not in a good way. Please see Krusk and Kyra, where her version of being in their life is annoying them and picking on them and being like, you're stuffy and you do drugs and I don't know, I don't really care, but fucking it's fun. She likes pointing things out to people. But and with Rory, there's just a lot of backstory. There's just a lot of stuff that happened beforehand, and he is someone who is so invested in what he thinks that he should be that the few times that he realized he might lose Aviana as a person, sort of, they stuck with him. And the idea that Aviana might have left stuck with him. So a lot of the relationship he has with Aviana is just him being like, okay, I've got to come out of my shell about some things and be a little bit. There's more than just being, related to my brother in life, and the more is basically Aviana.
She's like, all right, move, stop. You're more of a person than you think you are. Please, for the love of God.
She's also the only thing that he thinks about and worries about more than the law. And he hates that fact, but he can't escape it, so he'd rather have a positive relationship with it.
What a fucking dork.
Yeah, he's lame.
Yeah, he's lame. He's such a fucking loser. I love him.
He also, and I'm not discrediting Aviana here, he has big I don't meet anyone-itis.
Yeah.
He goes to work, he does his job, he has work relationships with people. Everyone he knows is a guard, he knows them as a guard, he comes home.
What a fucking loser.
He is, he's a huge loser.
He's a huge
Come home,
loser.
shower, sleep, do it all again tomorrow. So
Yeah.
be fine with it.
He's a
Be okay
prettier,
with-
more annoyed Hadrick.
Kinda, yeah. It's fine. She needs normal.
Like, you want a stuffy night, boy failure? Here you go.
Here you go. Like, yeah, I do, actually. Perfect. Awesome. I love it.
I also
She's
just
enough
wanna say,
chaos.
I also just want to say on the record, I think a lot of people like to believe that the highest standard has grown on Rory. They have not. He dislikes them as much as he did the moment he met them. He still thinks they're a pain in his ass. He's just realized they're not going away, so he's kind
Honey, I love you. I hate your friends.
Basically, he
I
thinks
hate
they're the
your
worst. He's like, technically, he knows that the Tenebros didn't show up because of the highest standard, but in his brain he was like, we didn't have a giant dragon flying around the city, and the city wasn't crystallized until you guys showed up in my life. So, like, can you go somewhere else? Can you drag whatever magic follows you that ruins people's lives? Could you take it elsewhere, please?
No? Shit.
Yeah. But,
Deal with
that's
it,
that.
buckaroo. What about Marile? What are her favorite parts of Nicolo, and what does she, like, kind of get out of that relationship there?
I think the most when it comes to that it's so weird to, like, I guess word it as like getting out of Nicolo, because I feel like the biggest thing she's gotten out of Nicolo is just someone that is like an equal, because with her upbringing and everything, not knowing she was a succubus, unknowingly manipulating people and swaying them to do what she wants, because of that, people don't feel like people. They just kind of end up feeling like parts or like cogs in a machine that you just have to make sure you've oiled them well enough to get what you want. And Nicolo was probably that very first person that it was like, wait, nothing's working, you're doing things on your own. And while at first, throwing vases and cushions and everything, you're scared about this because that's never happened before. Once things settled and they started being on the run and living together, it was like, hey, again, this person has wants and things, and for the most part had nothing to do with me or getting with me. And I kind of like that. I like that this person doesn't obsess about me or ask me what I want, and they're a person. they're a person, an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
So Nicolo, to her, was probably the first actual other human that she's ever been around that would tell her no, that would get angry at her, that would, wave his finger and be like, and it was so different and new that she just kind of found it kind of felt like finally actually being in reality. Like this is how it's supposed to be. Because again, Marile watches sitcoms and novels and stuff, but she's like, I've never seen things like that. These actual relationships and dynamics must all be like bullshit, because I sure as fuck have never experienced these things. So Nicolo was probably the first time she stopped feeling lonely because of that. And then it's like, again, that ends up becoming the bridge to leading into other things, other people that are, you know, whether demon or not. It's just like, oh, like I can have that. I can have these genuine relationships with other people that things I can't control have nothing to do with. But I feel like she wouldn't say it as like something she gets from Nicolo, something that like, you know, it's she sees it more as Nicolo has given that to her, not that she got it from him. He gave it to her. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it's, instead of like phrasing it's like, what do they get out of these relationships? Like a better way to phrase it is like, what do those relationships like bring into their lives, you know?
Yeah, I think with Nicolo, what he brings to Marile is just someone equal, that she can really be who she can be with all the praise and scolding that comes with it. She can have what I think most people take for granted is like that human experience, because she never had that really until Nicolo. That I guess that's pretty much it. It's hard to say, because in the course of DMS, we haven't really been able to like have moments outside of getting from the conflict and all that. So like they haven't had like a date. They haven't had a side thing. They had a bit of that early on, but as we got further in the campaign, there wasn't really much time into like really exploring those things and having it be a romantic context, which is also, you know, see why she hasn't slept with Nicolo yet. Because it's like, again, it's like sex, she grew up with sex being more of a transactional thing, so actually having it be more than that that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary to like actually put yourself into this very vulnerable, intimate thing, and then all the dust settles, the world is saved, and it's like, okay, back to what we were before. None of that meant anything. That was all heat of the moment. Like, that's scary. That's a scary possibility that she's like, I don't want to think about that. So, so that's why Marile has, in being very open, has also been very closed. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love it. I'm a big squish, so I was happy that question got asked, because I'm like, I just like hearing the different interpretations from other people's characters, because like you can only interpret so much about like how your own character views their relationship, so it's always interesting hearing from like other people and things like that. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more question that is entirely different context. It's our last one for the day.
Oh.
It's for you, Logan.
Oh.
When planning for Devils Might Surrender, why did you choose Machiavelli to be the overarching villain of the campaign?
Okay, so the answer is slightly more boring than maybe it could have been. So, Machiavelli comes up so much in Devil May Cry stuff. I think particularly in Devil May Cry 3, because like Machiavelli is the one who made Pandora and who made the Artemis firearm that you can get in DMC3. And I just like that their name kept coming up. And in the source lore, they're basically just a gunsmith. Like, they're not this like all-powerful mecha demon or anything. I'm sure if they ever pop up in canon DMC stuff, they're probably just going to be they would probably maybe even be friendly, because it seems like their whole thing is they're just a demon that likes making guns. But I thought the idea of a mechanically oriented, how far can I take this kind of blacksmith tech demon was really cool. I might be forgetting, I might be misremembering this. I'm pretty sure the Angelo armors and such were also credited as being their creation, like the armor that Virgil was stuck in, and the armors that show up in DMC5 and whatnot. They were also credited as being them. So Machiavelli served as a really good platform to include a lot of like mook enemies, a lot of this armor's possessed, it's fighting you, a lot of things that, you know, didn't have motivations really, and as such no one had to think about them when they fought them, because that's the vibe I wanted. There's also some canon correlations, because as much as it's not canon, I wanted there to be certain things that lined up really well. Like, for example, you guys may have noticed that all the devil arms that you guys have found, almost all of them are the same devil arms that are used in DMC4 to power the Hellgates. No reason. Who's to say why? But I thought it would be neat to like be the place that some of that stuff is like introduced, so that if you want to think about it connected to the canon timeline, you'd be like, oh, neat, cool. So somehow they go from here to being in the Order of the Sword's Hands. Okay. But also, I wanted the campaign to have a... Once I started thinking about Machiavelli and I got on it, because initially I was just going to include them as a like secondary antagonist or NPC, and then I slowly started being like, I want them to be the main one, because the idea of the pillars, of the talons, it made for a very easy, like, the story's over there, let's go. And then the idea of them being part of a mechanical flying city that Machiavelli used was cool, and so he evolved into this, like, more deific, effectively, like, demon god of technology kind of character. And once I got onto that, I was like, I want the campaign to progress through dealing with intense cold and dealing with one series of problems, and then it flipping to being the exact other set of problems where now everything is like boiling and now it's hot, and I wanted there to be this stark contrast between the beginning and the end. And I wanted to go from very organic, nature-based conflicts to these cold, almost ruthless mechanical ones, so that the different like thirds of the game all had different feelings. And Machiavelli seemed like a good way to do that. And also it made for, I mean, I love DMC. I love it to bits. DMC has one very predictable factor, in that DMC is almost always in the good ones, in 1 and 3 and 4, and then in 5. You're almost always inadvertently supporting somebody who's actually the big bad. Initially it was Trish, and then in 3, you know, it wasn't you, but Arkham turned out to be the big bad, and but his alternate form, his jester form, which was kind of helping you, turned out to actually be the big bad. And then in DMC4, you know, the Order of the Sword turned out to kind of be the main antagonists, and you know, Dante comes around, and then in DMC5, V. So I wanted there to be a character who was the ever-present, like, hey, I'm doing that DMC thing where the thing I want is on the same trajectory you're on, but slightly off. So, like, what if I helped you and just got you a little bit more where I wanted to go? Because if it wasn't for Machiavelli Briar, there's a full chance you guys might have been able to just have a Dramalek not show up in the human world. Like, you might have been able to turn it off or find a way to destroy it or something. And he was like, I need you guys to fix it, but like the way I want you to. Which is why he insisted so heavily that the only way to turn it off is to root it in the human world. That was a lie. You absolutely could have done other things, but he was like, I need you to think that that's the thing that you have to do. And also by helping you guys and upgrading your weapons, he could kind of control what you were capable of at any given time. He like knew what your weapons were and what you were able to do. And also by having you coming back to him all the time, he could constantly check in and be like, oh, how's it going? Progress? Anything weird going on? What's Veilfar up to? So I don't know. It's just started as a neat idea, escalated into that he fit the means really well, And then once I started really diving into it and thinking about stuff to do with Eric's character and whatnot, he just became a very specific fit. And also this idea that this hedonistic kind of organic guy who's like, SpongeBob popsicles are the shit. It turns out that he was like, these stupid things. Because like every joke and warm moment that happened with him, I was always just kind of sitting there being like, I can't wait for this to hurt later. I can't wait for this to feel terrible in hindsight. That if anyone goes back and ever rewatches DMC, I can't wait for them to find the things that he was subtly lying about. And fucking anytime characters were getting at a point where they might have been able to make a breakthrough on something, he was just kind of quietly like, oh no, you should do it this way though. It's like with the fucking one of my favorite, bit of a non sequitur, one of my favorite oh that was something moments that I don't even know if all the players clocked was you know how Gino bumped into heckin' Scraggly, definitely not the other son of Sparta, not having a good time man in the mall?
Yeah.
When I did that, and then I reminded him of the occasion where in Briar's body, Briar was contacting you guys on the phone, eating ice cream, and then was just like, oh, there's a homeless guy at the front trying to get in. Hey, go away! Yeah, no, he just looks terrible. Like, when I did that, I wasn't just, like, doing a stupid joke. I was like, no, that's him.
God
That's-
fucking damn it.
That's absolutely him. I chose not to dote on it, because I was like, I don't know, I'll make something out of it later. And if I don't, somebody will make an extrapolation, and if no one ever notices it, then nobody knows that I didn't do a thing, and I'm off scot-free because no one notices the plot threads that don't go anywhere or don't start. But, heckin', that was one of my favorite things where I was like, yeah, no, that was him. Also, I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but what was it? I think you guys had Pito, like, scanning the city for sources of, like, Sparta's energy.
Mhm.
And pretty early on, I made the point of saying there's 3 of them around.
Yeah.
And one of them's very weak. And then you guys didn't know that Dante was necessarily there because it was a bit of a joke. You guys, I think, came to the conclusion that Fio was one of them. Those 3 were the Echo of Ambition, because it had so much of the Yamato at that point.
Yeah, I
One
assumed
was
that.
Dante, and the other was the arrival of Scraggly having a no good time boy. I was constantly being like, yeah, no, they're every Sparta thing that could be here is here, but I don't know, I just find it fun not to try to point things out too hard, because then later on I get to do what I'm doing right now and then feel good about it.
Don't take DMS away from me, Logan.
Then, I don't know, then lose. Then fucking be like, oh guys, we gotta leave and regroup. It's your call. It ends when you say so.
Oh, it's on me? Fuck yeah, we're not going anywhere. This is forever campaign now, fuckers. I just got given permission to be a pro.
I think as a GM, the stuff I've been doing in DMS has been pretty, like, kind of I don't want to say self-aggrandizing, but a lot of it's been kind of like DMC fanfic stuff, which I actually recommend people don't do. I would recommend, if anyone ever wants to go down the path, if anyone out there's listening and they're like thinking about GMing a thing like this where you involve canon characters and whatnot, the best thing you can possibly do is not try to draw attention to the cool things you're trying to do, because I've had a few GMs in the past who have done similar things, but they can't help but to go to their players and be like, hey guys, what was that thing we did today? The guy that showed up, what did he want? And as a GM, I hate that, and I've always hated it when DMs try to basically tell you how clever they are. So everything I've done regarding that in DMS, I've always been like, no. If they notice, they notice. If they don't, they don't. You will be a better GM if you do not try to point out to the players that you might be doing a clever thing. If the clever thing you're doing is going to be good, it will put a spotlight on itself eventually. If you have to point people at it and be like, look at this thing, what could this be? Then your thing's not all that strong, and also you're kind of stealing the reveal from yourself later, I think. So, bit of advice to anyone doing something similar. Have faith that the stuff you're doing will pay off eventually. Don't try to tell your players where to look in that way. Also, I just personally also have an issue with any GM who like ends games being like, "Oh, that was clever." Similarly, when people make like an obvious decision, like, "Oh, I didn't think you guys would do that." There's a time and a place for that. I hate it. I hate when people do that so much. It's like, fucking, oh man, you put a fucking bad guy in front of us and we killed it, and now you're saying, "Oh, I didn't expect you to kill him this early. That changes everything." No, it doesn't. You're wrong. Fucking players will do the thing. Die, imaginary straw man GM. Die.
Fuck you, guy.
Fuck you, Scarecrow.
I can't believe you'd say that to the Scarecrow.
I'm just yelling at windmills now.
Your arms are windmills and you're yelling at actual windmills. Goodness gracious, Laidlaw. Well, thank you so much. No, I love it. This is what I like. My show is literally made for tangents. That's what I'm here for. I say that. I feel like I say that every episode. I'm like, no, I love the tangents. I like, especially like DMing stuff. I love learning kind of like what goes into it, what goes into building your villains or building up a campaign, what like your planning looks like. I love having y'all on, like both players and DMs, because I like knowing the inner workings of y'all's brains and what goes into characters and NPCs and the world and stuff like that. It's very interesting to me. So I'm very, like, I never apologize for going off on tangents because I'm just sitting here like, my friends are saying words about the things that they do. Yay. But that is all the questions we have for today. So thank you guys for being on my show. I appreciate having y'all back. It's wonderful. And make sure, teenies, you tune into Gilligan's Grave on Saturdays. So if you want more Nat 19, because why wouldn't you? Remember, you can tune in Monday through Wednesday for gaming streams with the cast. Monday, we have Cutie Cult with Aaron Robert Parnell, Carrie Johnston, and Spencer Downs. On Tuesdays, we have the cool kids. I will remember off the top of my head without having to think about it one of these days. I don't know why. My brain blanks every week. I'm so sorry. I love you, my boys. We have the cool kids with Cody Hewitt, Maddie Koch, and also Eric Embleton. And Wednesdays alternating with this whole thing, this whole Wits and Crits thingamajig that I like to do, we have the Chaos Crew, which is myself and Braden Alexander. And Thursdays, alternating with Princes of the Apocalypse, which is our D&D game run by the wonderful Aaron Robert Parnell. It alternates now with Devil's Might Surrender and sometimes Laid Back Laidlaw. And Gilligan's Grave, as I said, is on Saturdays. And if you guys are interested in merchandise or you just want to know more about our team, you can visit us at nat19show.com. That is nat19show.com. But most importantly, where can the teenies find you, my fine fellows? We can start with where can they find you, my sweetness?
You can find me on Twitch under the handle Squeaky Chiona. So that's SQUEAKYCHIONA. Pretty much anywhere.
Woo!
No one has that name. Just me.
Just me. Just Anna.
And sometimes I pop my head in here once in a while or something, I'm an on-call streamer should people need me to fill in gaps. So far, everybody's been pretty good. I guess I'm also Lemon Bokey here.
Did I do that to you? Did
Yes.
I do that? Was that whenever I was like, people don't have nicknames, I have to change that? Was that,
Yes.
was that when? Why did I pick Lemon Bokey?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What the fuck does Lemon Bokey mean?
Fuck if I know, dog.
You literally did it on session 1 of Gilligan's Grave. You were
My
like, I call you
machinations are a mystery.
Lemon Bokey.
Looks
And
at
I was like,
camera.
I'm not gonna fight it.
What do you guys think it means? What do you think Lemon Bokey is?
Something to do with lemon.
Fucking I wonder what kind of weird, right? I wonder what that is. I wonder what it might mean. I wonder what Lemon Bokey.
I'm
Guys, look
kick
over
you.
here. What's that all about, guys?
What's
Huh?
this about?
What the
Guys,
hell is a
maybe you need
bokey?
I have no. You probably said something like a minute before I did it that fucking made me think about. I don't. I'm id. I have so few plans.
My plan is for you to tell me, or tell the teenies where they can find you, Mr. Laidlaw.
Oh, fuck! Twitter! At Blazing Azure, or The Azure Crow? I don't know which one it is, one of them. Logan Laidlaw on Twitter. Basically everything I do you can find either through the Project Mouthwash YouTube page, the Nat19 / Let Them Play Games YouTube page, the nat19show.com. You can find all my stuff on DriveThruRPG. Just look up the author Logan Laidlaw. You'll find. Oh, I have hiccups now. You'll find me. And I don't know, fucking turn on your TV. Maybe I'll be on a commercial or a cartoon. Maybe
He's gonna
someday.
crawl out
Unlikely.
of your TV like the Ring Girl and just hand you a copy
dice.
of the just hand you a single die or a copy of the setting guide.
Take this D4. You will know when you must use it. Where else can you find me? That's pretty much it. I mean, the
In
thing
your
about
house.
this is that all my stuff is usually just the show stuff.
Yee.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for watching and or listening, whatever you're doing. If you're watching, I appreciate it. The visuals are beautiful. We will see you guys next time. Remember to tune in for all of our other weekday streams and, of course, Gilligan's Grave. You can catch Gilligan's Grave on Spotify as well if you are a podcast listener and you don't feel like running YouTube in your back pocket like I do. Please do it. Go give us 5 stars. Tell us that we're cool and neat, because we are. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.